刷爆了，一个江苏小伙娶了摩洛哥女孩。
The whole internet has been flooded with it. A young man from Jiangsu married a Moroccan girl. From the beginning of the wedding to the end, the girl kept smiling and her eyes were full of the groom, with joy she could not hide. A netizen in the comment section said, "The wife he married with 500,000 yuan in bride price had never smiled at him like this." Another person in the wedding industry said he had worked as a wedding photographer for 7 years, and he had never seen such a happy smile. Many people say this marriage had zero bride price, but in my opinion, the reason this wedding collectively broke Chinese men's defenses, or why a foreign woman marrying far away into China could resonate with so many young people, has a very direct answer. Because this smile directly pierced through that cold shot of marriage calculation in front of Chinese men. What is the current state of our marriages? Sitting together, not asking about personality, not talking about hobbies, opening the mouth and first checking the official family record, whether there is a house, whether there is a car, and how much bride price will be given. After talking about these, they still have to talk about boarding fees, exit fees, name-changing fees, and engagement gold jewelry. A marriage is forced into a complicated, house-rating-style poverty relief deal. Our parents worked hard, lived frugally, and saved their hard-earned money for an entire lifetime, but in the end, when they reached the door of marriage, it was replaced by a number that could have actually been about feelings. Of course, some people will say marriage needs material security, but we have also personally seen newlyweds tear up a marriage agreement on the roadside over tens of thousands of yuan in bride price. We have seen even more honest men who thought marriage was about to arrive, only to be directly thrown into the cold palace because of one sentence about adding money at the last minute. What do young people need? Not to be worshipped like ancestors, only able to see a rare forced curl at the corner of the other person's mouth in front of a table full of money. To put it plainly, the domestic dating and marriage market has made most of us live too tired, so tired that every day we must calculate clearly how not to lose out, forgetting that the most important core is actually making each other happy. So when we see the Moroccan girl's smile, that smile from the heart, we have to admit it is so natural, so free, and we all broke down emotionally. But what broke people down even more were those men still trapped in the endless dead loop of bride price. At a time when they were being pressed until they could hardly breathe, they seemed to see a house they could walk out of, a door where they could breathe fresh air, returning to the original true form of love. No bargaining, no mutual suspicion, only two people who truly love each other, loving each other and getting married. The most beautiful look of a girl is not how delicate she is, but that from the bottom of her heart she feels marrying you is truly wonderful. When the cost-performance ratio of marriage is almost worn flat by cold wealth thresholds like bride price, houses, and cars, there are still girls willing to simply value the man himself. That pure smile is the strongest healing power in this world.
我发现现在很多国外的女人到我们国内给我们大龄剩女抢中国男人了，真的，而且他们已经开花结果了，什么罗马西亚呀、俄罗斯啊、越南啊、什么东南亚、东欧这些国家啊，真的很奇怪，很奇怪。就跟咱们中国的男人都结婚了，而且呢还生了3、4个孩子，据说还不要房子啊，也不要彩礼啊这些，我搞不懂他们是图什么呀？你看上海啊、江苏、广东地区有好几次我在冰淇淋店就发现有些小朋友看起来怎么有点像混血，我就用英语跟他们沟通，结果呢这个孩子呢都会讲中文，我才知道他的妈妈是国外的，他的爸爸是中国人，是一个白俄罗斯的女人嫁给了一个中国男人，然后生了2个可爱的孩子。所以我一直在思考，我说难道现在已经有这么卷了吗？咱们国内呢好多大龄姐姐还没有嫁出去，国外呢又进来了这么多女人。我今年呢35岁了，因为30万的彩礼、2万块钱的月薪要求嘛，我拒绝了很多优质的男生，所以我看见这些国外的漂亮女生嫁到我们国内，我就说不出来，心情很复杂。突然就觉得好像有人过来跟我们竞争了，本来这个市场就已经很卷了，很多年轻女孩子前赴后继，结果国外又来了这么一群女生，不计代价的，然后在家里争着想着当家庭主妇。那外国美女嘛，现在不要彩礼，也不嫌弃公婆，不加房产名字，不拒绝生孩子，对男生的工资呢也不提要求，也不要求男生啊身高1.8米呀。我觉得心情实在是太复杂了，好男人真是不够用。然后我还听说很多越南女人嫁到国内呀，就几千块钱，就是男生花几千块钱就可以娶到一个女人当老婆了。然后他们现在是什么情况我不清楚，但是他们会提供情绪价值呀。那只要这个男的给他一点好处，可能是一点好处都没有，就非常非常的满足。所以说我今年35岁了，突然觉得好着急呀。闺蜜之前让我降低相亲要求嘛，我之前还觉得可以多挑一下， 现在我有点后悔了，因为我不知道这个市场这么卷。就是我现在怎么搞怎么降价，我都降不过他们，你知道吗？而且他们还拼命的学中文，拼命的提供情绪价值，年纪呢都很小，没办法了，太过分了，实在是太可怕了。
昨天收到了一个私信，让我不要抢中国的男人。哎呀，中国的好男人我没有抢啊！我老公说，当年给不起彩礼才选择了不要彩礼的我，有我的错吗？
家里边有儿的，我想问一下，我能看见那个视频，心里边害怕不害怕？
For families with sons, I want to ask you, when you see this video, are you afraid in your heart? My goodness, there is such a huge pile of money on this table. I have not counted it, and I do not know how much there is. This really reminds me of the scene when my grandfather and grandmother sold sheep. One hand handed over the sheep, one hand handed over the money, and they counted the money on the spot. I suggest this mother-in-law, when you count money one bill at a time, it is too slow, and you might even count it wrong. It would be best to buy a money-counting machine. Anyway, buying a money-counting machine does not cost much. That way, it is also convenient for you to count the bride price, right? Look at her, baring her teeth, grinning from ear to ear, laughing over there. Then I want to ask, can you guarantee that after your daughter gets married, she will live properly with him? The man's family has given you so much bride price. Now in our rural areas, bride price has truly become an insurmountable mountain in front of rural people. Whenever the topic of a child getting married comes up, we rural people suffer unspeakably. Because our own ability is very limited, and the money is all earned through hard physical labor. But when the child gets married, the bride price must be paid in hundreds of thousands. My goodness, who can bear this, right? Some women also really do not know the height of the sky, or the depth of the earth. As soon as they arrive, they open their mouths and ask for money. If you do not give it, she will not marry you. And the current phenomenon is also very strange. If you do not marry her, plenty of other people will marry her. They are holding your weak spot. That is to say, even if you do not want to give bride price, you still have to give it. Now when I think about it, those families with many sons are truly so afraid that they cannot sleep. What should they do about hundreds of thousands of yuan in bride price? Where can they go to earn it?
小伙送外卖娶到美国女博士，没错，你没有听错，这个人就是我。大家好，这是我的美国老婆汉娜。我老婆是去年的8月份来到中国，我们是11月份通过送外卖认识的。我在中国给我老婆送外卖，我老婆取外卖，我们是送外卖认识。11月份的时候天气非常冷，我老婆陪着我冬天送外卖啊，不离不弃的陪着我送外卖，而且我和我老婆已经结婚了，通过5个月的相处已经结婚了，而且我老婆也是不要房不要车不要彩礼啊，特别的通情达理啊，爱你。
Nowadays, some people use calculators to date, while others use a smile to win a battle. I never expected that the sharpest love blade of 2026 would actually come from a Moroccan bride. Stories of marrying foreign wives are not rare. I originally thought this one was nothing special either, but after I watched their story, I admit I was narrow-minded. The groom was born in the countryside, with no prominent family background, and the wedding was only held in his slightly old family courtyard back home. But none of this affected the bride's eyes full of happy smiles at all. She was wearing a white Western-style wedding dress, smiling brightly as she held her lover's hand, walking with cheerful steps toward the wedding scene. Even though it was raining that day, it still could not extinguish the sweetness of happiness that was almost overflowing from the screen. What is even more moving is that it is said the girl did not take a single cent of bride price and crossed more than 10,000 kilometers alone. She did not look down on the groom for being from the countryside, but instead her eyes were full of firm love for the groom. At this moment, the white veil, symbolizing pure love, finally met its true owner. The way she stood there and smiled gently allowed us to see the purest standard answer to love. It turns out that after stripping away the restraints of material things, getting married really can be such a happy, such a joyful thing.